Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a great year for us. It's hard to pick out a lot of specific moments because we were very fortunate all year to have good results. But I guess if I had to pick out sort of three highlights for the team, I would say that one of the highlights was starting on pole, winning at Lime Rock, which was really the kickoff to the busy part of the season. And I think it set the tone for how we were going to go racing the second half of the year. We uh, we came out very fast there. The car was fantastic. The team executed beautifully, and it was a pole and a win for me at my home track, and for Guy and I it was a huge monkey off our back because that's a race where all of our friends and family come every year, and so it was a big boost in the arm for us in the championship standings as well. And it sort of showed the Muscle Milk guys that we were going to be tough to beat for the rest of the year. And I think that for us was a real good kickoff for the run down the stretch. And, we added a second car to the mix as well with the Oryx effort coming on board. Hamed Massoud, Stephen Kane, and those guys joined us at Lime Rock, and that was their first race weekend. So to get a win and for those guys to be on the podium in their first ALMS race, it was really a great weekend for us. And I think that looking further. So basically, when the Oryx guys, when we won at Baltimore, it was a 1-2 race. It was Hamed Massoud and Stephen Kane's first ALMS win with us. It helped us consolidate our championship. It was a great win for Mazda, and it sent us out to Monterey with a good confidence that we could clinch the title out there, which we did. And that was a great weekend because it was in front of our sort of primary sponsors, our main partner. ModSpace presented the event, and to clinch it out there and head into Petit Le Mans with the championship in the bag, it was a real relief. So I would say that between Lime Rock, Baltimore, and Monterey, probably those are the three best highlights for the year from kind of a team standpoint, and also from a personal standpoint. Well, it was a great opportunity that came along. It was kind of by happenstance. I was in England at Advanced Engine Research, our engine partner, who supplies the engines to Mazda, and they happened to mention a team that they were working with in the V2V Euro Series, which is a kind of like an IMSA Lights category for the Le Mans Series. And they mentioned that the team owner was very interested in doing LMP and had been looking to do potentially some ALMS. And at that time, we had a gap in our schedule coming up after Long Beach. And I said, let's get in touch with the team manager. And Tom Mapplethorpe, who was the team manager for Hamed, Masood, basically happened to be in England when I was there. And he came down and we started talking. And he mentioned Hamed was from the UAE originally, but had spent most of his life in the States and loved racing in the States. And I said, well, let's talk. And Hamed called me that weekend when I'd gotten back to the States, and we immediately hit it off, and we set up a test for him to come over and test at the Monticello Motor Club over here. And he was fantastic. I mean, he'd never driven a prototype before, and he got in it, and he was absolutely consistent, and you could see that the pace was definitely going to be there, and it was kind of out of the blue, probably to the outside world, but we talked through it very carefully. We looked at the budget. Hamed was able to raise the sponsorship to come over to the series. Wanted to be racing in the American Le Mans Series. He'd been a sports car fanatic for years, and I think believed that the ALMS was the best showcase for sports car racing in the world, and I tend to agree with him. And yeah, so it was a great year for them. They came in and really were on the podium pretty much every race they finished, and I think it was a great year for them and a great year for the team to get back to running two cars again. Well, yeah, no, our plan is to remain with two cars, and we're looking at possibly adding a third car to the effort. We're out to vigorously defend our championship next year. It's great to be back on top, and we want to stay there. And in order to stay there, you've got to keep committing to the series and keep committing to your technical partners. And thankfully, we've got very good sponsors behind us, and they're committed to the ALMS. So our plan is for another year of good, strong effort and good, strong results. I'm very bullish on the ALMS because I still think that the North American market needs a cutting edge sports car series that's advancing technology and that's very relevant. A place where manufacturers can be debuting new technology that is relevant to their show car, their showroom car offerings. A place where the rule book is open enough where you can run alternative fuel cars, hybrid cars, different tire brands. It's kind of the last bastion of open competition in the world, really. And I think that the IMSA sanctioning body does a tremendous job of kind of fusing the ACO rule book, but with concerns about making sure that the show is exciting for the North American fans, and we're big believers in the ALMS. We're happy to have won the championship there, and we're looking forward to coming back in 2012. I think it's too early to say right now where the WEC is going to end up. To be quite honest, I mean it's a very ambitious schedule. It's a schedule, I think, for which you're going to need massive resources to compete on a full-time basis from any standpoint, whether it's as a independent team or as a factory team. And obviously we're still in the midst of a recession worldwide. It'll be interesting to see how it succeeds. I know that they've got the commitment from some significant manufacturers and OEMs, but it is, again, it's a big reach. And I think that I think we were all completely puzzled by why the Bahrain race was scheduled directly opposite the Petit Le Mans, because the Petit Le Mans is a classic, and Bahrain, as far as I can tell, has never been a success as an event anywhere with any, even with Formula One there, and obviously with all the social unrest that's going on in that region, I think it'll be interesting to see if that race actually proceeds. But the WEC is kind of charted its own course, and we'll just have to see what happens. But IMSA and the American Le Mans Series, I think has a pretty good grasp on its identity. It's still a realistic calendar with a realistic budget, and you've got the most important automotive market in the world, as your showcase. So, I'm still very much a big believer in the American Le Mans Series. I think the WEC is we're just going to see what happens. It's not the first time there's been a world championship, and there's been mixed fortunes for world championship sports car racing over the years. So, we'll just have to see how it plays out. But I don't know how the WEC builds up the American Le Mans Series when it excludes the Petit Le Mans, and I think there's a lot of head scratching going up after that, and. After that announcement came out, I think everyone was kind of confused, and I'd like to believe that there's a better solution than what's been announced, and I hope that people can kind of come to their senses and realize that you've got a worldwide classic on your hands, and to kind of ignore it would be to the detriment of your series.